Welcome back to Do It with Dean. I'm gonna repaint, refurbish this 2014 Kawasaki Teryx 4. It's been sitting for several years. The paint faded out on it. The belt's broken, and it hadn't run in 3, 4 years, I guess. Stay tuned, and hope you enjoy. All right, so moving along um, in this restoration. This is a 2014 Kawasaki Teryx 4. Um, so some of the things I've been doing is renewing this plastic. It looks like this white color. It's oxidized. I tried some different things to try to bring it back, but it was too far gone. So I resorted to a heat gun, and as you can see, the difference here, and here. I turned the heat gun on high, and you make a couple of passes, but you don't let it puddle because it'll melt the hole in it. I haven't done that, but it's uh, it's a pretty neat process. You run it over it once lightly, and then come back until it turns the desired sheen that you want, and just let it cool. And then you come back behind it, and you wipe it off, and you can see it's back shiny again most places. The thing with this thing is the kids broke it. I bought this machine new back in 2014. It's 10 years old. It's been great mechanically. Mechanically, it's in perfect shape. Besides the fact, um, the kids, these things don't do well running around at low speeds and high gear. Um, I've replaced this belt before. I went with an aftermarket belt. I think it's a Gates. This time, and I'll do a video when I put this back together. This time, I went back with a Kawasaki belt. Um, the kids don't drive this anymore, so I'm gonna resurrect it back into the hunting vehicle that it was supposed to be to begin with. So just a little update. I'm gonna I got some work to do here, and we'll update when it gets back. One of the problems with this, and I'll film some more of this in a minute, but one of the problems with this paint scheme is this was the camouflage version of this, and it's hydrodipped. So I've been experimenting with some camouflage paint, just doing a test to see how it sticks. It's really good paint for these plastics, and I just been doing a little test coatings here and there. I ended up having to take all of these decals off, which is a pretty daunting task. But just a little update as I go forward. Just playing around with some patterns. But this paint right here sticks really good to the plastics. I just lightly sanded it, I think with 220 grit. I'll continue to work on it here. I got to take a couple more decals off, but it'll be painted up here soon. I'm not trying to make this thing a show winner, but we're going to get it back presentable. We do a lot of hog hunting, and so we're going to make this into the hogmobile. Lots more cleaning left to do. It sat outside unattended for a while. Um, didn't find any other problems mechanically. Had to put a battery in it. Just some little things. And working on this winch that seized up. I'll probably take it off. It's not very expensive. But anyhow, some tires to come. We'll run these off. Here's this is what young kids do to your belts. That belt wasn't very old at the time that it got destroyed, but I would suggest using a Kawasaki belt. I want to say this belt was probably 6 months old at the time it destroyed. So I won't be using any more Gates belts. I'm going to go back with the Kawasaki belt. Should be here in a little while. I'll get it going. I'm going to finish sanding off these decals. And all these panels come off with the exception of these door panels. If you can see these right here, those are not screw holes. Those are rivets. They don't unscrew. So I'll just mask that off real good. Finish prepping them. And I'll finish restoring this plastic in here. Change the oil, grease everything up. But I'll give you an update on the progress. Well, I finally finished the refurbish basically of this T-Rex. Give you a little idea. This paint I mentioned before, it's Rust-Oleum Camouflage flat non-reflective paint. Um, it does pretty good if you have a T-Rex and it's hydro-dipped. Um, there is hope for it. It's not that big of a project. Aside from taking panels out like this and then removing plastics to properly paint them, um, like I mentioned before, this panel does not come off. I guess you could drill all these rivets out, uh, but I opted just to tape them off real well. Um, to get this paint job, basically, I just have some stencils. I just laid them down. They're not vinyl adhesive stickers like some people want to make everything perfect. I laid some duck grass stencils over this part, just around the bottom, just for effect. Um, some people use the lighter color, this light green here for the base. On this one, I opted to use the darker green. You can buy this paint. Um, you can buy this kind of paint in a package deal. It comes with like 6 cans. I didn't use more than 6 cans on this paint job. If you're interested, it's basically 3 colors: the tan, the army green, and the deep forest green, and the flat earth brown. I kind of like the look that it turned out. It left it a little darker. That light army green is just too light for me. Um, I throw in a few sticks and regular. Just this was just some black paint that I had. It's a different sheen. It's kind of shiny, as you can see. Um, but this paint job, you know, set you back some sandpaper and 6 or 7 cans of paint, and it seems to be pretty durable as it's cured now a couple of weeks. It's flat, so it will scuff a little, but it seems to be sticking real well. I'm not too worried about it scratching off. Um, but all in all, uh, refurbing this plastic, it was in poor shape, and a lot of these T-Rexes, when they sit outside, this plastic just doesn't hold up well to UV. Uh, as in a previous video you saw, I just took a heat gun. Some people do it with a blowtorch. A little dangerous if you ask me, because you can really burn through some stuff. Sometimes on these golf carts I refurb, I'll use a torch. It's a little easier. Didn't want to burn anything by accident. Um, but the paint turned out fairly nice. It gives a decent appearance. Um, So for those of you that have these T-Rexes that are hydro dipped and they're starting to turn white, uh, this is a good option for this. And I'll give an update if the paint doesn't stick. But for prep, um, you know, it's not like painting a car, but you do need to. I only went down to 200, 220 grit, I think, and some 400 grit. Um, be careful on these edges. You know, use something where you're not cutting through all the way to the plastic, because if you cut through the plastic, it really needs to be sealed before you paint. It can give you some issues. Uh, but all in all, for less than $100 in a few days' time, you can achieve this relatively easy. Um, but I'm on to another project. This one seems to be doing well. Replaced the belt in it. Although this machine sat for close to 3 years, I was kind of concerned. I drained the fuel, uh, looked at the filters, but it started right up. It's got a little mist in it. I'm going to change the spark plugs. Occasionally it'll miss a little bit, but it's running down the road fine. Did a little oil change. Rewired some of this stuff I had up here. This is a wireless winch controller. Some other little things that I did up here. I had these lights mounted up a long time ago. I used the brackets that were on the back. They're just some cube lights. Uh, I made this aluminum box here for switches. Sometimes people ask me about it. That was a light box made for trailer lights. I just adapted it and built an aluminum plate here, cut square switches in here for the lights and some other accessories, and built some brackets up here to just mount it above the roll cage. Built some little aluminum standoffs. This is the best way to mount to these roll bar tubes. This is a clamp style grip with adjustable pieces. You can buy these on Amazon, but works out pretty good and it's really sturdy. Anyway, if anybody has any questions, this wasn't intended to be a full-fledged project for a YouTube video, but I thought I'd share some of the things that I did to get this thing presentable again and get it back on the trails. Yeah, I appreciate you watching, and like I said, if anybody has any questions on something I did, there's nothing scientific here. Just drop me a line. I'll try to answer the best I can. I did receive a lot of responses on some of the forums about the paint job, so I figured I would just update with a little video. But thanks for watching, and I'm on to the next project.